Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Let's talk Trump's new immigration proposal. Now, I'm not going to delve too deeply into this because I feel like any conversation that includes the name President, Trump, or immigration triggers every liberal within like a 2,000-mile radius, and I don't want to start a small war. But I will say this. Can he do anything? Like, honestly, anything that makes sense for our country. I'm not really sure if America is a country anymore, or if we are just like the bank version of what Switzerland has to go on, but like in country form, where we're just a neutral zone and everybody's welcome. Just cash your human bodies here. We take human capital from everywhere. Don't even bother to fill out the paperwork or pay the fines or learn anything. Just come stand at the border and we welcome you with open arms. I think that a merit-based immigration system makes sense. Like in real life, everybody else has to do this. And I've talked about this in past videos. When my son went to Japan, he just didn't get to waltz all over into Japan and just get in the country. And that's a little tiny island. Why is it that in America, we expect people to just wander into our country freely and it's okay? When all of these other individuals who had to come here legally jumped through numerous legal hoops, did copious amounts of paperwork, and had to prove their worth and allegiance to our country to some degree before they got citizenship. So are we just going to turn into total anarchy? And I just want to say this. Merit-based immigration aside, because God forbid that we actually have standards for who we let in the country to ensure that they can do the most for this country possible and our assets and fill jobs that we need filled and tap into parts of the labor market where we need people versus tapping into parts of the labor market that disenfranchise huge populations of Americans, the Black population specifically, because it's our jobs that they are taking. Let's not have a merit-based immigration system, but to double down on the stupidity of the conversation, the liberals aren't even happy with the fact that he's not trying to cut the number of immigrants. And when I say immigrant, I don't mean it in the new term, you know, where we call illegals immigrants instead of illegal aliens. I mean like immigrants, like people who legitimately come here. That has not been lessened. He's keeping it the same, which to me is very fair-minded. I mean, he wanted to cut that down. He wanted to scale that back. But the idea of giving a little and taking a little really seems to mean nothing to the far left. And I feel like the whole left is far, 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 far off in the left at this point. Because half the things they do make little to no sense. They're not even happy with that or the other concessions that have been made, rather than focusing on the actual verbiage of it, and rather than looking at the fact that there is room to do some work together, you know, as Americans versus caping for non-Americans. In this proposal, they want to fixate on the fact that Jared, who is legally his advisor, pinned it out. We're just going to focus on all the things that don't matter here. We're not concerned with our own people. We're concerned in justifying things for people who are not even citizens of this country. We are one of the few countries that moves like this. And honestly, I'm not sure that the blatant hatred for our president that the liberals have really justifies throwing the rest of us Americans under the bus. Just not sure about it. So how do I feel about the proposal? I think it's dope. Can we have any standards? Just pretend to have standards here in America. That would be awesome.
If you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. And if you want to support my content, feel free to join my Patreon.